In the US, every 11 seconds, an older adult is admitted to the hospital due to a fall, and every 19 minutes, someone dies from complications following such a fall. These aren't sensational headlines. This is reality, happening every hour, every minute, right in your own community. A small misstep in the bathroom, a slip when getting out of the car. It seems simple, but at age 70, just one fall can take away the rest of your life. Did you know that an older person who breaks their hip has a 20–30% higher risk of death within 1 year? And even if they survive, most of them never regain their independence in walking. What worries experts isn't just the number of fractures, it's the deadly silence of the hollow leg bone process, which causes no pain or warning symptoms. Many people believe they are protecting their bones by taking calcium daily, but in reality, calcium is just a raw material. Without a roadmap to guide it, calcium can go astray. Instead of attaching to bones, it can cling to artery walls, causing atherosclerosis. So what's the key to directing calcium to where it's needed and keeping leg bones truly strong, especially the easily fractured hip area? Modern science has found the answer. It's not one, but two types of vitamins that need to work together like a lock and key duo. If one is missing, bones will still be hollow, and blood vessels will still silently calcify. In the next section, we'll explore what this duo is, why they're so important, and how you can easily supplement them through your daily diet without taking too many pills. You can take as much calcium as you want, but if one of these two vitamins is missing, your bones will remain hollow. And more dangerously, calcium can go to the wrong places, causing arterial calcification and blocked blood vessels. You've probably heard of vitamin D for a long time, but perhaps few have told you that vitamin D, if taken alone, can become a double-edged sword. Have you ever wondered, why do I drink milk and take enough calcium, but my doctor still says my bones are thin? Why are my knee joints still weak, my legs still shaky, and the risk of a hip fracture still hanging over my head? If so, you're not alone, and the answer lies right here. To visualize it easily, imagine calcium as the bricks your body needs to build and strengthen your skeletal frame. The role of vitamin D, specifically D3, is to call the bricks to the construction site. It helps the intestines absorb calcium, then stimulates the liver and kidneys to convert vitamin D into an active form, which acts like a project manager, instructing bone cells to begin the building process. During this process, a protein called osteocalcin is produced, the master craftsman responsible for capturing each calcium brick and attaching it to the bone matrix. That's why those deficient in vitamin D often have low bone density and are prone to fractures when they fall. Sounds great, right? But here's where the problem arises. If there's a lot of calcium in the blood, but no one to guide it into the bones correctly, what happens? The answer is calcium can go astray. Instead of going into the bones, it can deposit in the artery walls, causing arterial calcification. Or it can drift to soft tissues, causing joint pain, kidney stones, and even increasing the risk of stroke in older adults. So who is this guide? It's vitamin K2, a nutrient rarely mentioned but extremely important. Vitamin K2 helps activate proteins with difficult to remember names, but you only need to know one thing. Thanks to K2, calcium securely attaches to bones and doesn't mistakenly go to dangerous places like blood vessels. Without K2, calcium can become a silent threat. Are you supplementing with vitamin D daily but have never heard of K2? It's not uncommon. Most older adults in the US are in the same boat. And that's why, according to an 8-year study of nearly 5,000 older adults in the Netherlands, those deficient in both D and K had a 41% higher risk of hip fractures. A small fall can lead to a hip fracture, and you know how serious that is for those aged 70 and above. This issue has also been discovered by scientists in the US. A large study lasting over 5 years with more than 25,000 adults, the VITAL study, showed that supplementing with vitamin D alone, even at high doses, did not help reduce fractures, and even increase the risk of falls if not combined with K2 and calcium. In other words, vitamin D needs K2 just like bricks need a bricklayer. You can have bricks in a construction project, but without someone to do the work, the house will still collapse. That's why an increasing number of experts worldwide, from Europe to the US, agree that to protect bones, especially in older adults, the golden trio of D, K2, and calcium is essential. And don't worry too much. You don't need to take a ton of supplements. Everything can start with very simple habits: eating a slice of brie cheese for breakfast, adding a few spoonfuls of natto, fermented soybeans, to your dinner, or choosing milk fortified with D and K. Even if you don't eat natto, because its flavor is quite strong, there are other options. Some fermented cheeses like Gouda or Emmental also contain small amounts of K2. Or you can consult your doctor about taking MK7 supplements, a type of K2 that is easily absorbed and causes fewer interactions than the MK4 form. So what about vegetarians? The good news is that some soy milks are now fortified with D and calcium. Combined with sun-dried mushrooms and some almonds or green vegetables, you can easily get close to your daily bone nutrient needs. And here's the crucial point: it's not enough to just take calcium, nor is it enough to simply take high doses of vitamin D and feel secure. The bodies of older adults are very different from younger people. Absorption capacity decreases, enzyme activity is weaker, and the risk of incorrect dosing is higher. Therefore, the right strategy isn't to supplement as much as possible, but to combine the right ingredients in the right way at the right time. You can imagine the body as a distribution system. Vitamin D is the coordinator of calcium flow, vitamin K2 is the warehouse checker and guides the order placement, and calcium is the necessary raw material. Only when all three work in harmony will your skeletal system be built strong without leaving secondary consequences. Once you understand this, you won't be surprised why many people, despite eating a complete diet, still suffer from osteoporosis, while others, who eat simply but are smart about nutrient coordination, maintain strong legs and a healthy spine throughout old age. But before we dive into specific meal plans, let's move on to the next section, where you'll learn a 3-step, easy-to-remember guide to properly supplement each vitamin, so your bones are strong, your legs are steady, and you no longer have to worry about hip fractures. Are you curious? If so, stay tuned. If you've been taking vitamin D every day but still experience joint pain, have difficulty standing up, or your doctor says your bones are thinning, then it's very likely you're missing the most important thing: the correct way to supplement. It's not about taking as much D as possible, nor is it about eating a lot of calcium to ensure strong bones. Try to remember these 3 steps. Simple, easy to do, but very effective if you're over 60. Step 1. Let the sun activate your bones. Vitamin D3 is naturally synthesized in the skin when exposed to sunlight. You don't need to sunbathe like when you were younger. Just 10 to 15 minutes in the early sun, a few times a week, allowing light to touch your arms or face, is enough for your body to start producing D3. However, if you live in a place with little sun or are older and your skin synthesizes less effectively, you might consider taking a D3 supplement daily. The recommended dose usually ranges from 800 to 2000 IU day, depending on your blood D3 test results, called 25-OHD. Important: take it daily. Do not take high doses weekly or monthly. Many studies show that taking high bolus doses, such as 100,000 IU monthly, can increase the risk of falls and fractures in older adults. Step 2. Let vitamin K2 guide calcium to the right place. If D3 is the one pouring calcium into your bloodstream, K2 is the guide. But you won't find K2 in popular milk or multivitamin supplements in the US. So where do you get it? Remember these 2 golden foods for bones. 1. European-style hard cheeses like brie or Gouda. Just a small slice, about 1 ounce, nearly 30 g, can provide around 50 micrograms of K2 in the MK7 form, the most active and long-lasting form. 2. Natto, Japanese fermented soybeans. Although the flavor is quite strong, just 1 to 2 tablespoons can give you nearly 450 mcg of natural MK7. If you're not used to eating natto, you can absolutely use K2 supplements. 90 to 180 mcg once a day is the safest and most effective dose reported in studies. One important note: If you are taking blood thinners like warfarin, you need to consult your doctor before supplementing with high doses of K2, as it can affect your INR levels, a measure of blood thinness. Final step, supplement calcium, but do it the right way. Imagine your bones are like a brick wall. Calcium is the brick. The more bricks you have, the stronger the wall. But bricks alone aren't enough. You also need cement and a bricklayer. In this case, vitamins D and K2 are the duo that help bring the bricks to the right place and bind them securely. And now it's time to ensure you have enough bricks, that is calcium, every day. People over 60 need about 1,000 to 200 milliliters of calcium daily to keep bones strong and prevent osteoporosis. But you don't need to take calcium pills right away. Start at the dinner table. 1 glass of calcium-fortified milk has about 300 milliliters. A slice of cheese or a bowl of collard greens adds another 100 to 200 milliliters. Plus a few almonds or some chia seeds. You're already close to your goal. If you eat a varied diet, you can absolutely get enough calcium just from food. If your meals sometimes fall short, for example, if you don't consume much dairy or aren't a fan of green vegetables, then that's when you might need to take a calcium supplement. But don't rush to take too much at once. You should only take around 500 milliliters per dose, split into 2 doses a day. For instance, morning and afternoon. Don't take it all at once, as your body won't absorb it all, and your kidneys will have to work harder. You might be thinking, that's a lot of numbers. I'm afraid I won't remember them. Don't worry, you don't need to memorize everything. Just remember a small trick. Imagine a standard meal plate for people over 60. It's simple, easy to make, and has everything your bones need. This plate isn't a dry or difficult formula. It's an inspiring way to arrange your meals, so that every day you're not just eating to be full, but also eating to keep your legs steady, your spine strong, and your independence. Start your morning gently. This is actually when your body absorbs calcium and vitamin D most easily. You can begin with a slice of whole grain bread, which is rich in fiber and magnesium. On that slice, spread a soft cheese like brie or camembert, not only delicious, but also containing a small amount of vitamin K2, which is essential for guiding calcium correctly. And pour yourself a glass of milk fortified with vitamin D and calcium, clearly labeled fortified on the carton. With just this meal, you've taken in over 300 milliliters of calcium, along with some K2 and D, 3 foundational elements for strong bone formation. Lunch is the time to add protein and omega-3s, things your bones and joints absolutely love. Choose 3.5 to 4 ounces, 100–120 g of salmon, mackerel, or unsalted sardines. These fatty fish are rich in natural vitamin D and anti-inflammatory omega-3s. Alongside that, have a bowl of dark leafy greens, like kale, spinach, or collard greens. These vegetables contain natural calcium and magnesium, a companion that helps calcium work more effectively. If possible, add a spoonful of extra virgin olive oil to increase vitamin D absorption from the fish and greens. Your body will silently thank you after every lunch like this, because you're not just eating, you're building layer by layer a solid foundation for your skeletal system. The evening is when you complete the bishi, final piece of the puzzle. It's light, but equally important. If you're familiar with Japanese cuisine, try a spoonful of natto, fermented soybeans, very rich in easily absorbable MK7 form of vitamin K2. Don't like natto? That's perfectly fine. You can take a 90–120 mcg K2 supplement as advised by your doctor, or choose a small portion of hard cheese like Gouda or Edam. They also contain K2, though in smaller amounts. Dinner doesn't need a lot of protein, but it should include boiled vegetables, a small bowl of brown rice, or steamed sweet potatoes for easy digestion and better sleep. Most importantly, you've locked in the D, K2, Ca trio for a complete day. Do you notice anything? None of the items on that menu are unfamiliar or hard to find. It doesn't require expensive pills or superfood ingredients. Everything can be found at your local supermarket, farmer's market, or even in your own refrigerator. The issue isn't about eating something special, but about simple yet smart combinations. If you forget the amounts, don't worry, remember a golden rule. Each glass of fortified milk has about 300 milliliters of calcium. Each small piece of cheese also contains 150–200 milliliters. Each bowl of dark green vegetables provides an additional 100 150 milligrams. Fatty fish, besides vitamin D, also supports calcium absorption and fights inflammation. All combined, through 3 simple meals, you're well on your way to 1,200 milligrams of calcium per day, exactly the amount recommended by experts at the US Institute of Medicine for people over 60. And more importantly, you're not sending calcium alone. You always have vitamin D calling it in, and K2 showing it the way. That's what makes the difference. You don't need to remember breakfast, lunch, dinner, exactly as it's written. If your breakfast is simpler, just a glass of milk and a slice of bread, then make up for it with extra vegetables at lunch. If you eat out tonight and don't have natto or cheese, you can supplement with a small K2 pill tomorrow, as recommended by your doctor. The most important thing is to maintain a holistic view over the week rather than stressing about each meal. Think of that plate as a circle. Each meal is a piece of the puzzle. When all 3 pieces, calcium, D, and K2, are connected, that circle becomes strong and balanced. And that circle is the symbol of the balance and stability your joints need to keep going for a long, long time without fear of falls. And do you know the best part? After a few weeks, many older adults feel easier getting up, walk more steadily, and experience fewer leg cramps at night. Some have even shared that at their follow-up appointment, their doctor praised their bones for being less hollow than before. However, to be sure your body is getting enough or is deficient, you should still have a regular health checkup once a year. A simple blood test can tell you if you have enough vitamin D. If necessary, your doctor might suggest further tests to see if you're absorbing calcium correctly. That way, you'll feel more at ease and can make adjustments early if needed. Do you know what's interesting? Even seemingly harmless vitamin pills can challenge your body if you take them incorrectly or have underlying health conditions. Therefore, before you enthusiastically start supplementing with vitamin D, K2, or calcium daily, take a few minutes to review the following points. They act as a safety net, helping you reap the benefits for your bones while avoiding hidden risks. First, are you currently taking blood thinners? If you're taking anticoagulants like warfarin, Coumadin, often prescribed after a stroke, stent placement, or atrial fibrillation, you need to be especially careful with vitamin K2. Because K2 affects how blood clots, taking too much can counteract your medication's effectiveness. Specifically, if you take MK7 form of K2 exceeding 45 micrograms per day, your INR level could become imbalanced, making your blood thinner or thicker than desired. So if you plan to supplement with K2, talk to your doctor first so they can adjust your medication accordingly. Absolutely do not take it on your own without asking. Second, do you have chronic kidney disease? For people with weakened kidney function, such as those with stage 2 kidney failure or higher, the body may struggle to process excess calcium. This can increase the risk of kidney stones or soft tissue calcification, especially in the heart and blood vessels. If you have a history of kidney disease, avoid supplementing with more than 1,200 mg of calcium daily, including both food and supplements. Additionally, you should regularly check your blood calcium and phosphate levels every 6 months, especially if you are supplementing long-term. Third, avoid excessively high, one-time doses of vitamin D. Have you ever heard someone say, just take one 100,000 IU D3 pill for quick results? While it sounds convenient, new research shows that excessively high bolus doses of vitamin D each month or quarter are not beneficial. They can even increase the risk of falls and fractures rather than reduce them. Such super high doses cause drastic fluctuations in blood D3 levels, and the body cannot adapt quickly enough. Most experts today recommend that vitamin D should be supplemented daily, 800 to 2000 IU, or a small dose weekly. It's much more stable, easier to control, and safer. Fourth, don't forget regular annual blood tests. You don't need monthly tests, but once a year is an excellent way to know how your body is doing. You can ask your doctor about 2 indicators, 25 hydroxyvitamin D, 25 OHD. This tells you if your body has enough vitamin D. The ideal level should be maintained between 30 to 50 ng/ml. UCOC, uncarboxylated osteocalcin. If your clinic has the capability to test for it, this indicates whether you have enough K2 to activate the mechanism that directs calcium into your bones. If the results show a deficiency, you can absolutely adjust your dosage, diet, or switch the form of supplementation to suit your needs. It's never too late if you detect it in time. Once you understand these key points, you'll no longer be walking in the dark. Each pill, each meal will now become a proactive and safe step to help you keep your legs steady, protect your hips, and live independently for a long time. Imagine you're standing on a bridge, the bridge called Age 60 Plus. Each step you take is a step closer to 70, 80, even 90. But that bridge will weaken without strong supports. And those supports here are your hips and your legs. So what do you need to protect that bridge? Just remember 3 simple pieces. Vitamin D3, the path opener for calcium. It helps the body absorb calcium from the intestines into the blood, activating the bone building process. But D3 alone isn't enough. Vitamin K2, the guide that directs calcium to where it needs to go. When K2 activates proteins like osteocalcin and MGP, it ensures calcium attaches to bones and doesn't get lost in blood vessels. If you're deficient in K2, you could take all the calcium in the world and it would be useless because it won't reach the right place. Calcium, the core building material. No need to take pills right away. Just eat enough dairy, green vegetables, nuts, and supplement if truly necessary. What's more important is how you split your doses, combine them at the right time, and don't overdo it. And for everything to be truly effective, all you need is to consistently practice a simple combo every day. Whole grain bread with a slice of brie cheese, a glass of defortified milk, lunch with salmon and green vegetables, and if possible, a little natto or an MK7 supplement in the evening. No need for 10 different supplements, no need for a ton of specialized knowledge, just 3 letters, D, K, CA, and a persistent habit. Don't forget that there's one thing you always hold in your hands, that's proactivity. Weakening bones isn't because you're old, it's because you've neglected them for too long. But if you just start today, everything can improve, including bone density, leg stability, and the belief that I can still walk on my own, whether I'm 70, 80, or 90. Every morning you might still instinctively reach for your usual glass of milk, but today, try adding a slice of soft cheese. And think about this, you're not just eating breakfast, you're rebuilding a strong bridge for your legs. You don't need to remember all the numbers, units, or biological mechanisms. Just remember a simple image, a golden plate, with D3 pouring calcium, K2 guiding the way, and calcium building the foundation. A golden habit, consistent every day, gently, but as regular as the morning sun. You are not alone on this journey. Millions of people over 60 in the US are also silently facing the risk of hip fractures, bone loss, and weak legs. But the difference is, you now know what to do. If you found today's information helpful, please share it with a friend your age. Perhaps they are also struggling with scattered calcium pills, or simply don't know where to start. Leave a comment. Have you tried natto yet? Are you supplementing with D3 daily? Or simply, I want to keep my legs strong until I'm 90. We always read every line you leave. And perhaps your sharing today will be a vitamin of hope for someone else tomorrow. And finally, if there's one thing to take away from this, it's every bite, every ray of sunshine, every step is a time you care for your leg bones. Start right from tomorrow morning, with a small plate and a great belief that I can still keep walking steadily, even past 60. Thank you for staying until the very end. See you on our next journeys, where health can always be rebuilt if you just start.